All right, guys. This I might actually post online here. I got a lot of commentary about this. This is DJ Wolf. Of course, podcast is DJ Wolf Live here on YouTube. I might post it on my personal YouTube channel too, but I don't know yet. But I gotta talk about this nevertheless. Now, we're on the back end of Rihanna's great performance at the Super Bowl halftime show, even though we know it might have been lip sync, whatever. But I enjoyed it. I think she did a great performance. Of course, she had that outfit on to try to slowly reveal that she was pregnant. We all knew that when the moment we saw it. And I was like, damn, she just had a kid. She just had a baby. She's pregnant again. And the baby that she's pregnant with now is due in a couple of months. No joke. Yeah. The baby's due, I think, about another month or two, something like that. 2 months? About another 2 months or something like that. She just had the first one late last spring. Sure did. Now she already had this one. It's like, damn, what you do? Wait and then had another one? Never mind. Anyway, so I went ahead. I've been seeing some posts on YouTube, and I'm a little late on it, but it ain't too late to talk about this subject because it's a subject that's really been dogging our community and our culture. Now, the thing of it is, as you know, she got hooked up with rapper A$AP Rocky. You know who she's with now, who is the baby daddy of her firstborn, and I'm assuming it's the same baby daddy of the secondborn. I hope, but I'm pretty sure at this point, yeah, he is. But anyway, so I happened to see a bunch of YouTube videos posted about that, and I had to chime in my 2 cents on that, of course. And I'm gonna tell you, I didn't like the Vogue picture. Now, don't get me wrong. I'll say that it is a very well shot cover. I will say that. It's a well shot cover. I'll say that much. Here's the problem that I have with it. Rihanna is in the forefront of the cover because of who she is. You might as well just not even had A$AP Rocky and the baby in the picture with her, to be honest. But, I didn't like the way it was shot. You might as well not even have him on there. Because the whole article was, the front of the cover article said Rihanna and blah, 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 what she did, all her comeback and all that. It was all about her. It wasn't about her and her family. It was about Rihanna. A$AP Rocky and the baby was just the two other people who was on there that was under her. And I didn't like the response. I don't like the way that they did Vogue. That Vogue shot. That was a bullshit cover. It was, for a lot of reasons. But we got some black women. Look at her. Look at her little family. Look at him. Look at her little mans. No, I ain't like that. And the fact that they blew the picture, you could tell obviously looked like they magnified her in the picture, blown up, to make it look like not only she was larger than life, but the fact that A$AP Rocky and the baby walking behind her looked small. That was deliberate. No one can tell me that wasn't deliberate the way they set that picture up. That was as deliberate as I don't know what. And I think, for lack of a better word, that's some messed up ass shit. To sit there and put her directly on Front Street and made the rapper, who was the father of her child and children, look small. Like he was just a non-factor in the relationship with her. Like it's all about amplifying her and not the black family. Because at least the one thing I'll give her credit for, at least, is about her wanting to have a family. They're not married, but still. And it just irks me to no end. It's like they big up single mothers. And I'm tired of that. I'm absolutely tired of that. Now, I'm on a sidebar. My dad, and there's no bull, my father taught me about the ills of society when they actually bigging up black women. because he was the one that told me, hey, how we we need to be talking about our fathers, about the fathers. They always talking about the mama. Ain't no family without the father. He always said that. He said the king, father's the king of the family. Yep, always said that. And he embedded that in me from the time I was a child, and this was circa late '60s, well into the '70s, well up to about well into the 2000s. That's all he talked about, and he was right. He was the first person that ever taught me about that before we started having the manosphere. He was the manosphere in my life. Was my father. My father was the manosphere. He put the man in the manosphere. Put it like that. He was the man in manosphere. Real talk, because he always talked about that. He always talked about it. He didn't just start talking about it. He always talked about that. Before anybody else I knew talked about it, my father was the first one to tell me, man first in a relationship. He always said that. Yep. He was the man in manosphere. That's no joke. So I had a lot of experience with the manosphere long before the manosphere on social media even was ever even established. But I consider myself manosphere 2.0 anyway with that because of my dad. He was the original manosphere. He'd tell you all about it. But here's the thing that was really weird with me. I used to think my father was a male chauvinist for years. Because I was kind of like, on the women's side, downtrodden, never getting paid enough, always being, like the second class citizens and all that shit. And the reality of it is, women are not second class citizens. Women just behind, just are the ones that are next to the men. And I'm not being shown about, but I know some people might have a problem with it. No, I'm not bashing women. I'm really not. But men have always cherished women. Now, all men have, but men in general have always cherished women. We have. But what I don't understand is, we don't get paid like men. There's certain jobs, there's certain reasons why you don't get paid like men, because there's certain jobs you can't do like men. Let's be real about that. There's some jobs you would not do as a woman if you were paid like a man. That's a known fact. Let's keep that a buck. Let's keep that 100. All day 100. Real talk. A lot of y'all wouldn't do half the jobs that men do anyway, and y'all know it. So if you're going to do a real man's job, you better be doing real man work. Like a man. If you want to get paid like one. Now I'm talking about certain jobs. But my thing is that women have to understand. You want a good relationship. You want a relationship with a guy. The thing of it is, you got to do that. You got to do more than anything else is you got to marry before you carry. That's one of the problems we got today. Ron's not married to A$AP Rocky, but yet they give her big ups because she's a woman. I'm like, what kind of shit is that? Well, she's a woman, so we deserve to give her big ups just because she's a woman. People back in the day used to frown on stuff like that. This fool trying to give me a run. No, I ain't doing all that. I'm not doing all that. You can forget all that. Something. Yeah, they do. They do not care. They do not have two bits to care about. They literally don't. They don't care. It's just ridiculous to me. It truly is. It truly is. This traffic is terrible out tonight, man. Jesus Christ. You have one accident in one part of town, and it affects the whole area. I'm more on that later. But, she, I don't know. It's like they embody woman of being exalted as the leader. And to me, that's backwards ass thought. It's very much a backwards ass thought. And it's been talking about girl rules the world and all that. Man, come on now. Really? I'll be honest. Women don't rule the world. Men still rule the world. Men have always ruled the world. Men will continue to rule the world. Xfinity. Infinity, what do you call it? Seriously. I'm not saying that women don't have a place in society, because for women, of course, do have a major role in place in society. Always have. You know? Now, I'm not going to go into detail about it, because I know some of y'all be like, nah, that ain't. So I'm not going to even go here. But you do. You have a major role in society, just like everybody else does. That's a fact. No shade or funny business about it at all. You know, what you do, I'm gonna keep it 100. I'll say that. But you have to understand, you can't be bigger than women for being single moms. Now, there's certain reasons why some women are single moms. I know that from personal experience with some women being single moms and why they are. Others, I don't have. There are no excuses. It's just not. It's not. Period. For many of them, it's like a badge of honor. You know, I was watching this show one time. The father was a well-noted instrumentalist, musician. His daughter, one of his older daughters, wanted to have a kid out of wedlock, but she wanted to have it artificially inseminated in her, and then remain a single mother. She bragged about being a single mother, wanting to be a single mother. I said, you gotta be ashamed of your damn self. You want your kids to be raised without no father, no structure at all. Like, you'll be able to control all that. Yeah, right. They'll listen to you until they just get tired of listening to you, and then there's no structure, and they won't do anything you say. Because there's no structure. There's no strong leadership. You need that. That's why in relationships, for the most part, if a man and woman get together and, coagulate, whatever, you know what I'm talking about, that they should marry before they carry. And then when they do, let the man be the one to be the leader, the head of the household. But we ain't talking about just on any guys. Guys who are about the business of being in business of wanting a real relationship with the woman, and the woman wanting to be right in the relationship with the man that she's in love with, to do the right things they need to do together. But the problem is, many of us just sell for the first thing we get, hit it, go ahead, and then pop a baby. You don't think about the consequences. Now, I myself, I'll say this. I was with my wife for 2 years before, this is a true story, 2 years before she got pregnant. We were together 2 years. We had already talked about getting married. And the thing of it was, we were in love. For 2 years before we got married, before we had a child. Sure did. Our child was born 3 years later. See, when you do the planning, it's the right way to go. But you have to have a relationship, and I can talk about this in person, I've been married 31 years. You have to really be friends with that person. And I mean close friends with that person, in addition to being lovers. You have to have a common bond. You have to have a common ground. You have to have all of that. You have to have that. You can't be playing these games with folks out here, man. But what I hate is the fact that the media pumps up these women to thinking that it's okay to be a single mother. That's my biggest issue. And then they go ahead and co-sign on it. Ain't nothing wrong with that. My mother actually told me that. My son had dated a couple of baby mamas before he finally settled down and started his own family. And my mom was like, ain't nothing wrong with dating women with kids. And I just told her point blank, in no uncertain terms, there's a lot wrong with that, for a lot of reasons that you don't, as a woman, don't understand. Exactly what I told her. You would not understand. You don't understand when a guy dates a woman with kids, and he's gets off and closer into the relationship, the more further into the relationship, guess what? The further he got to deal with, or a good chance that he will be, that kid's baby daddy. Do you want the headache of already having to get into a relationship that you got to deal with the kids first, and then you got to deal with the baby daddy on top of that? Who probably have to touch that. Some of them, well, in some cases, probably ain't about shit. Who want that headache? I know I didn't. I was determined not to be involved with no baby mamas. And the ones I did try to date, they were knuckleheads. I'm telling you. The ones I did date, it's like they were nothing but trouble. For real. Nothing but trouble. Straight trouble. And you know what I did? Cut them off. Never went back. I told him to do the same. And guess what he did? He filed my leave. Don't want that trouble. Nobody want that trouble. Especially got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kids. Different guys. And the single women I did date that had kids, man, they had, some of them had some of the nastiest attitudes. I was like, I couldn't deal with it. I could not deal with it. I said, hell no. You can have that. You and your kids. You know? And no offense to the kids themselves, but I'm just saying, I didn't want to deal with that. I didn't want no ready-made friend. I did not want that. Even my friends used to tell me in high school, man, you don't want that, man. My closest of friends, we were all the same age. You don't want that. They're right. Yeah, I didn't want that. I didn't need that. I really did not need that. Didn't want the headache. Didn't want the aggravation. Then you got to deal with the baby. Yeah, man. Okay, talk to you. Had to whoop man. You ain't talking to me, man. Hey, mama. You wasn't around, man. So don't nobody want that aggravation. You don't want that headache. And then the girl and the guy might still be in love and all the other men. You don't want to do all that drama. I'm not saying that would be true, but I'm just saying you don't want to deal with it. This is me. I'm just like, nobody wants that headache. Nobody wants that headache. I know damn sure, I don't want that headache. I really don't. I would not want that headache at all, period. Whatsoever. You know? Because it's a mess. It's a mess. You know? Too old for all that mess. Real talk. I really am. You know? Especially at the time. I was really too old for that. Too old for all that drama. But no, hell no. You know? And like I'm saying, you know, it's this thing, situation with RiRi, that's classic BS. You know, basically trying to tell your culture, this is what your culture is. Your culture is about the leadership of women. I'm not saying that women should not have leadership roles. I'm saying women should not have leadership roles when it comes to the family over the man. That's wrong. That's totally wrong. Because at the end of the day, who gonna protect your ass at night? Make sure your house is secure. The man's gonna take the heat off of that. On that, I know I've been through that situation a couple times. Trust me. No. Who gonna change the tire? Who gonna make sure your car running right? You know? Who gonna make sure your house is in order? Who gonna make sure that the sub pump is working in the house? Who gonna make sure the furnace is right? Yours truly. Now, as a man, I made sure all that got taken care of by me for the family. Now, some of the work I have done, I've worked on some pumps in my house. I've installed myself, you know, and other things, you know, security cameras, stuff like that. Did all that myself. I took care of all that. Made sure it was working, up and running. You know, that's what men do. Women ain't gonna do all that. They're gonna women, if anything, gotta have to pay to hire somebody to do that shit. You know, and they're gonna charge you, and I don't blame them. That's what we're here for as men. You know? But women, I can do all that by myself. I don't need a man to do that. I don't need a man to do that. But this is the mentality that's being ingrained in our women's brains today, man. You know? And the mothers and grandmothers today, some of the grandmothers and mothers today, like, oh, girl, you bad by yourself. You know why? Because they were the same women when they were in their 20s back in the 1960s, I'm telling you for a fact, who were embedded to become feminists. This I know personally, because my mother happened to be one of them. She'll deny it, but I do know this. You know. I mean, a bit kind of on subservient type, but real talk, deep down feminist. Can't tell them nothing. Can't tell them anything. Yeah. Guys, we gotta, stand together. Hey, if you ain't about it, if you ain't about being my woman, keep it moving. Trust me. I went through a few women to get the right one. I know. I'm telling you. Nobody want that headache. You don't want that headache, no woman trying to, do your own thing. No, you don't tell me what to do. Man, ain't nobody got time for all that bullshit. Nobody got time for that mess, man. Nobody. I know damn well I don't. Even my age, I'm too old for all that. I wouldn't put. Man, if I was single today, I definitely wouldn't put up with none of that mess. I don't think a single man out there today should put up with that mess. Particularly if you in a position where you can take care of a family. I'm specifically talking about them guys. Because if you are, my thing is, you should be able to have the woman who's going to be right and be right beside you and be about the business of you in the relationship and not all about her. Trying to be the boss of you. Fuck that. We're men, ain't we? That's what one guy said. We're men, aren't we? And that's my point. I mean, big shout out to the Manosphere Daily. We should have to put, as men today, man, we got the choices of the type of women we want. We do. But if you get a good woman, I'll say this. If you get a good woman, treat her right, man. Treat her right. But by the same token, she got to be right in your heart, too. She got to be about the business of the relationship and you. I'll say that. And especially if you the head of household and a leader and a man in a relationship, she should make sure, especially if you're a public figure, that you are the head of the relationship in the household. Bottom line. Not mess with Rihanna was pulling with A$AP Rocky. That's bullshit. And I'm out.